Hey y'all. So, after I had surgery, I realized that my muscles were killing me. So, I did a little bit of research. Muscles that were hurting that had nothing to do with the surgery, and I found out why. So, for those of you who have been diagnosed with fibromyalgia, or you know someone who has it, and they feel really, really achy all over after surgery, and that's not their surgical site. Um, I will explain to you why. Fibro means fiber, myo means muscle, okay? And algia means pain in or inflammation in. And yeah, so I found out why. So we're going to get a little nerdy and a little medically intellectual. All right, you ready? Okay. People with fibromyalgia often experience heightened post-surgical soreness due to the condition's impact on pain processing. Fibromyalgia is characterized by central sensitization, where the nervous system becomes more sensitive to pain signals, leading to increased pain perception. This means that sensations that would be considered normal pain in others might be perceived as more intense or prolonged in someone with fibro. Here's why. Fibromyalgia involves central sensitization, causing the brain to amplify pain signals, oh, come on, don't do that, resulting in heightened pain perception from even minor stimuli. Post surgical trauma. All surgeries involve some degree of tissue trauma, which is a normal part of the healing process. However, in individuals with fibromyalgia, this trauma can be perceived as more severe due to the central sensitization. Surgery can act as a trigger for fibro symptoms or exacerbate existing ones, as it involves both physical trauma and psychological stress. Some individuals with fibro may also be sensitive to medications, including anesthesia and muscle relaxants, which can complicate post-surgical pain management. In essence, the combination of fibromyalgia's heightened pain sensitivity and the normal post-surgical pain response can lead to a more intense and prolonged experience of soreness after surgery. So what can you do? You discuss pain management with your doctor. Consider non-medication approaches. Communicate with your doctor about the pain. Um, yeah, I was sore all over. Like I would just felt like I worked out in a gym or ran a marathon or something. I was like, what is going on? Okay. Uh, okay. So, and this is just a general rule right here. Pain after surgery usually occurs due to inflammation in the part of the body that was operated on. This type of pain is commonly known as acute post-surgical pain and lasts less than 3 months. Inflammation and acute pain are a natural part of the body's healing process. So here's another thing. Oh boy. Can anesthesia make your whole body sore? Unfortunately, drowsiness isn't the only side effect of anesthesia. Muscle aches, mm-hmm, a sore throat, mm-hmm, nausea and constipation can also occur, depending on your body's reaction. So the muscle aches could also be exacerbated because I have fibro, okay, which is also called FM. I mean, I was so achy. My upper body was achy. I'm like, what the heck is going on? I'm better now. I had a sore throat the first day and it was so mild I didn't have to do any lozenges or anything like that. Nausea and constipation can also occur, which we talked about before, and that's exacerbated by the types of medicines that you take in addition to that. All right? We're learning a lot today. We're going to be smart. What is postoperative myalgia? Postoperative myalgia pain includes pain similar to that following intense physical exertion, presenting the day following surgery. Remember I told you my muscles were so achy. Higher frequency in females, less common in children, as well as those over 50, 60 years old. So yeah, I was just curious. I'm like, what the frick is causing me to hurt so much? Well, there you go. And the reason why your throat is sore after surgery is because you were intubated. You will not be able to breathe on your own if you're under general anesthesia. You've got a tube that they insert in your throat, which helps you breathe. Okay? The process of putting the tube in is called intubation. Yeah. So that's what's going on there. I'm glad I have an answer. This is not unusual after you have surgery. So with FM or fibro, it could be a little more pronounced. So if you look at and take your hands and feel the front of your collarbones, right? The muscles underneath on both sides of my body, which is bilateral, bi meaning two. Bilaterally, those muscles were killing me. I'm like, what the heck is going on? Why? So now we know why. Even if you don't have fibro, you can have muscle pain in areas that were nowhere near your surgical site. So, yeah, it's always good to be smart. Read, educate your brain. It's a good thing. I do not have much in the way of pain. I had one more oxycodone left, and I went ahead and got a refill because I would like to stay on it just to give my body a break from the pain. Even though I really don't have a lot of pain, I was more active today, and I don't want to have my foot go off on me. So I just would prefer not to. Yeah, I'm doing pretty well. I did the freedom leg today, and I discovered that if you don't tighten the straps real good where your shin is, then while you're walking, you're going to hear and that's not a good sound. That means that your Velcro is not as snug as it should be. So I've discovered I'm getting a quick and fast lesson on, because I haven't used it for a couple of years, like what, over a year, 2 years now. And I'm getting a quick lesson on how to tighten it so that, I don't make extra Velcro noises while I'm walking. And you kind of sit in it like your thigh is sitting in like a cradle, and that's what lifts your foot off the floor. So you're walking, but you're non-weight bearing because your foot is suspended above the bottom of the freedom leg. So I will try to post a link, or better yet, you can just do freedomlink.com and you will see where people are using it and their foot is suspended above the ground because you're able to walk without putting pressure on that foot that is not allowed to have pressure on it yet. So it's a great concept. It is tricky. You do have to learn how to walk with it. I'm relearning as I go. And it's easier than a knee roller. It's easier than crutches and all of that good stuff. So, and I finally got, I think I don't have it with me. I finally got a pad for it's a gel memory foam pad for my wheelchair because I've always needed it. And I kept saying, one of these days I'm gonna get a pad for it. One of these days, for the seat. And I never did. Well, I finally did. I finally broke down and did it. And I'm really glad I did because anyone who uses a wheelchair will tell you that the seat part where your butt goes is very thin. The material is very, very thin. And if you have your leg bent and your knee is on it, on the seat part, you will feel metal underneath there. So there's almost no padding in a wheelchair. They're made well, but they don't have good padding for your behind. So I went ahead and finally got a, hold on a sec. Sorry about that. Oh, I know what that alarm is for. I'm like trying to remember what that alarm was on my phone. So I finally got a seat and I can't wait to use it. And it has a little belt thingy that you can actually clip it to the wheelchair. That was my biggest selling point, that it's thick, it's got memory foam, and it also has straps in the attached to it that you clip it like to your wheelchair so it doesn't go flying everywhere. And it also has these rubberized dots on the bottom that prevent it from sliding also. And that was a big selling point for me. So I'm eager to try it. Yay! Anyway, I'm doing well. I'm taking an Oxy today, not because I need it, but because I was up and around. And like I said, I don't want my foot going, what is your problem? So I'm taking the Oxy as a precaution. And I'm doing well. I did some errands today. I'm really happy about that. And I think that's pretty much it. You guys have been so kind and so supportive, and I really appreciate it. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye.